So welcome back to part 4 of the Discovery series and today 6. Now, in understanding this discomfort that goes on in the mind, it's essential that we see clearly what it is that's causing the discomfort. And as we've looked at the last few days, it's normally either a sense of not being aware of what's going on, so the mind's already sort of wandered off in some way and we've not been conscious of what's causing the mind or the body to be a little unhappy or uncomfortable in some way. Or it's this tendency to resist or indulge. So we know that there's this situation and we know that there's a sort of a reason for why that happens. So it's important to look at how we can relate to it in such a way that it doesn't have to lead to that same place each time. It's really important to understand it doesn't necessarily mean a change to the situation, whether that's external or internal. It's how we relate to the situation, and the starting point is awareness. My hope is that over the last sort of few weeks and months, you've started to notice how perhaps the mind wanders off a little less. And on those moments when it does wander off, it doesn't wander off for quite so long. Of course, some days you'll have a bit more focus and the mind's likely to wander a little less. On other days, the mind might be a little too much in the other direction. It might be too relaxed. And you might find your mind wandering for quite some time. But remember, without awareness, it's impossible to do anything about the situation. We need to be consciously aware of sensations, of feelings, of thoughts, of mental states. When we are aware of them, then things start to change. And you'll have noticed we're not doing too much actually. It's not that we're trying to change what we're aware of. Instead, by noticing these things, a change begins to happen. And it happens in and of itself. It's very subtle. Sometimes it can be very steady as well. But it is a very profound change that really changes at quite a fundamental level the way in which we experience the mind and the world around us as well. So do remember, no matter which element of mindfulness you're working on, whether it's the body, the sensations, the feelings, the most important thing is to realize when you've been distracted, and in that moment to realize that is awareness, that is the present moment. And all you need to do is just gently shift your attention back to whatever you're doing. So in the meditation, that's bringing the attention back to the rise and the fall of the breath. So just take a moment now just to settle the body, the mind. Just getting comfortable in the chair. And when you're ready, taking a few nice big deep breaths. And with the next out breath, just gently closing the eyes as you become more aware of those physical sensations, the physical points of contact, and in particular, that feeling of the weight of the body. Noticing any sounds, those close to you and those a little further away. And then bringing the attention back to the body, just starting to notice how the body's feeling right now. So there's an awareness of how the body feels. And with that awareness, just noticing whether there's a sense of wanting to hold on to that feeling or of wanting to change or get rid of the feeling. And then in your own time, starting at the top of the head, just mentally scanning down through the body in just the same way. When you become aware of the physical sensation, noticing whether there's a sense of resistance or indulgence. At the same time, just starting to become aware of the emotional quality of mind, your mood today. And again, in becoming aware of that mood, noticing whether there's a sense of wanting to maintain it, to encourage it in some way, or of wanting to resist it, to change it in some way. Being clear about your motivation today. Remembering just how important this exercise is, not just for you, but for those around you as well. Remembering how it can improve relationships, communications, making it more comfortable for everyone. And as always, knowing that all you need to do is to just step back, allowing the process to unfold, the body and the mind to unwind. As you just shift the attention now onto the breath, that rising and falling sensation. Today, noting in just the same way, in those moments that you realize the mind's wandered, there is awareness in that moment. And with that awareness, you can be clear whether you've been swept away by a feeling that encourages a sense of indulgence, of wanting to maintain it in some way, hold on to it in some way, or whether there's a feeling of resistance, of wanting to reject it, to get rid of it in some way. Remember, the rest of the time you're simply focusing on the breath, allowing thoughts to come and go. It's only in those moments where the mind really wanders off, that you lose yourself, that you need actually note or label the experience in that way. So just settling the mind on the breath now, and if you find it useful, continuing to count the breaths as they pass. And now just letting go of any focus at all. Just allowing the mind to be completely free. And then just bringing the attention back to the body, back to that feeling of gravity, the weight of the body pressing against those different touch points. Noticing any sounds or smells or tastes. Re-engaging each of the physical senses as you then just gently open the eyes, taking a moment to refocus. Clear how you feel and clear about your intention to carry forward this awareness throughout the day. And when you've done that, you can just sit back in the chair. And it's worth watching as you go through your day to day, just how the mind has a tendency to wander, how easily it's swept away by the desire to hold on or to chase after a pleasant feeling, or to resist or to try and get away from an unpleasant feeling. It's amazing how much of our time is occupied in this pursuit of chasing after the pleasant and trying to get rid of the unpleasant. And the interesting thing is that when we step back from that and no longer engage in that, then actually we find a place of natural ease and contentment. With awareness. So as much as you can throughout the day, remembering to be present and aware.